while the sun glitters above the Pacific, an ancient silence stirs beneath. Sailors once swore they saw vast shadows moving in that stillness, whole ships vanishing in a single night. To them, it was the end of the world, a place where light died and darkness set its own laws. For centuries, scientists dismissed these tales, insisting that nothing could live there. But when our eyes finally reached those depths, the truth was stranger than any story. Creatures carrying their own light, ghost-like fish with enormous eyes, and shapeless bodies drifting like phantoms. Here, life does not simply exist, it becomes fear itself. The trenches of the Pacific whisper that myth and science can both be true. And now we step into their domain. Our journey begins where the last traces of sunlight fade away.
Our map of the abyss began with rope, lead, and patience. In the 1870s, sailors aboard HMS Challenger lowered a weight into cold water and kept feeding line, 3 kilometers, 4, 5, until the ocean finally answered. That shock revealed a curving wound we now call the Mariana Trench. Farther west lies its deepest pocket, the Challenger Deep, roughly 10,935 meters down. Down there, pressure nears 1100 bar, about 110 megapascals, as if a ton pressed on a thumbnail.
The trench isn't an accident, it's the visible edge of Earth's deep machinery. Around the Pacific Rim, old seafloor made at distant ridges drifts, cools, grows dense, and is pulled under lighter plates in the west. Subduction bends crust like a steel ruler under a heavy thumb. Released fluids help melt the mantle above, lighting the ring of fire with volcanoes. Charts make it look tidy, neat arrows, calm colors, but at the scale of rock it's abrasion, heat, and time measured in thunder. To meet the abyss, we built spheres, pressure halls so thick they turned windows into coins. Even so, the ocean negotiates hard. Unmanned craft have vanished in blossoms of bubbles and shards. Pressure doesn't argue, it concludes. The first explorers to touch bottom saw only what their lamps could frame, silt rising like breath on glass, and then movement, unhurried, unalarmed. Life, not as a miracle, but as a fact. Every descent is a passage through rooms of light. At the surface, the epipelagic is a cathedral of photons. Phytoplankton stitched sunlight to carbon, feeding webs that sustained fish, whales, and us. By 200 meters, we cross into the twilight zone, where blue-green bioluminescence writes signals to attract mates, warn predators, and bait the curious. The most abundant vertebrate on Earth, the tiny bristlemouth, thrives here by the quadrillion. Deeper still, the midnight zone steadies near 4 degrees Celsius. Sight gives up ground. Some eyes grow vast, tuned to silhouettes. Others go quiet, reading the water with the lateral line. An anglerfish hangs a promise of light. A bare eye stares upward beneath a transparent shield. Somewhere in the dark, a giant squid keeps watch for the faintest flash.
Below the slow snow of organic crumbs, scarcity writes the rules. Less than 1% of the surface's leftover carbon falls intact to the abyss. Here, survival is calculus. Store energy, spend rarely, strike cleanly, withdraw intact. The chimera glides on wing-like fins. The pelican eel unhinges like a net to swallow luck itself. A lancetfish can invert the equation in a single lunge. In this economy, patience isn't a virtue, it's the skeleton key.
Beneath, the Hadal Zone gathers cold like a secret.
Dense Antarctic waters creep along trench floors, bringing oxygen where sunlight cannot follow. On bare rock, chemosynthetic mats varnish ledges, living on chemical gradients instead of light. Communities rise from this unlikely cuisine. Worms in the silt, amphipods the length of a hand, translucent sea pigs trudging on antenna-like limbs. And the improbable, xenophyophores, single cells swollen to the size of a football, architectures of pressure and patience that shouldn't exist by surface logic, yet do.
Count the species here, and you reach only a few hundred. That number doesn't prove absence, it proves undersampling. Our methods have been simple. A baited camera here, a net there, a few hours in a place the size of a country. Imagine writing a book on the Grand Canyon by lowering a lantern into one crevice at midnight. We'd learn something, but not enough to speak for the whole. The deep keeps its statistics close, and that confession, we don't know, is the doorway to better questions. Stand once more at the rail and look into the dark. You can't see the trench from here, but you can feel what it changes in you. It teaches a grammar of patience, a physics of humility, a biology of enough. The ocean doesn't promise spectacle, it promises depth. When we go back, and we will, we'll ask better. And the dark, generous as ever, will answer, one small gleam at a time.